So today I am going to review the Everyday Watercolor book by Jenna Rainey. I have never seen this book being reviewed before, so it was just one of those evenings I was just looking through on Amazon some of the watercolors or something, and then this book popped up. So I was really excited because it was apparently published in 2017, so last year, so it's relatively fresh and new. And the artist behind it is this lovely girl. So it says here, Jenna Rainey is the founder and self-taught designer, illustrator and calligrapher behind Monvoix, a small but mighty illustration and design agency. She started out of a love for art and illustration that began when she was very little. I love this type of thing. As soon as I read that she's self-taught, that appealed to me straight away. This book is will help you to learn to paint watercolor in 30 days. So basically there are loads and loads. I mean, it's a super thick book. It's a really generous. Let me tell you how many pages there are. 213 pages, 15, something like that. And it's filled with information, and what I like about it is that there is quite a bit of reading as well, so little snippets, a paragraph here and there. And let's start with the beginning of it. Beautiful illustrations, super encouraging, and that's the contents, so you can pause it if you want and have a good read. It covers literally everything, and I want to show you the layout. So look at this cute donkey, and I just love this type of illustration. I can't see a single pencil mark here, so it looks like she's just done it quite loosely. Beautifully illustrated, and I love the colors as well. So here's a bit of introduction. Little shrimp right here, very pretty. From what I understand, she is using the Winsor & Newton professional watercolors. You can read, and these are the colors. Again, you can pause right here, and I can actually tell you. So it's Mars black, ultramarine violet, Prussian blue, cobalt blue, phthalo turquoise, Windsor green, sap green, olive green, lemon yellow deep, yellow ochre, scarlet lake, opera rose, cadmium orange, Windsor orange, red shade, and burnt umber. So those are the watercolors that are in her palette, I assume. She seems to be liking the Fabriano watercolor paper, and so on and so on. So she says that the brush sizes that she typically likes to use are round size 2, size 6 and size 16, so that's quite useful. Then there is a bit of basic knowledge about primary, secondary and tertiary colors, value scale, so she covers off quite a bit before you get to chapter 1. And look at this illustration. Now here I can see a little bit of pencil mark here and there, very lightly. So section 1, this is about technique, and I just want to show you the layout of it. So then you start with strokes on a day 1, and it tells you step 1, warm up with lightening a hue. It tells you how long it will take, 15 to 25 minutes. It says here, use basic strokes to create an abstract piece with swatches. Learn how to choose a color palette, basic composition, and the wow technique. So I would assume you'd have to buy the book to learn the wow technique. So there's plenty here. Step 2, step 3. Then you move on to day 2, curves and circles. So she teaches you how to hold the brush, how to achieve things, estimated time 20 to 30 minutes. So it's really kind of not too long at all, and it gives you a wide range of exercises to do, which I think you would really it would really help any one of us to improve our watercolors, even if we're already quite a bit familiar with them. So very, very pretty. Let me just do a few more pages. Day 3, straight lines and triangles. So that's that. You may think it sounds quite basic, but this is just the beginning. And I think if you start with the basics and then move on onto something a little bit more compound strokes, so she explains that, learn the S-curve by illustrating stems and leaves. So this is helpful for those of you that like to paint foliage, flowers and all that kind of stuff. Practice compound brush strokes using pressure and release. So remember when I was showing you in the review for this silver black velvet, when you are putting the brush onto the paper, press and then lift, so that creates that leaf, petal, that sort of thing right here, and then you start sort of like that and you move it up. So all very useful if you want to learn how to paint these leaves. So it quite literally starts from the beginning and then moves on and then talks you through how to actually also mix the colors and so on. So here she, for example, says peony leaves, use more yellow to accent with a brighter hue, the darker green for shadows. Sage leaves, lighten these mixtures with loads of water for a softer look, and so on. So that's very helpful to understand the difference between the greens. And here's a lovely mix, tallow turquoise and Mars black, something I wouldn't have thought of, but looks very pretty. Okay, so that's that was chapter 1, and here is the chapter 2, section 2, form, perspective and light. So this is when she gets a little bit more into it, and I'm just going to do a quickish flip through just to give you an idea of the things that she shares. Here's a lovely papaya illustration. So here she talks about the hue blending, and then some patterns. This is lovely as well. She learns how to paint the curved leaf so that it looks quite organic. So she shows you how to draw it first and then how to layer the colors. And obviously what you need to pay attention towards when you are painting this to make it look realistic. So as you can see, the darker values are behind, and then the front part of the leaf that is curled up is the lightest to make it look quite dimensional. And some fruit, and let's go to the back of it. This is beautiful, which is highlights, midtones and shadows. Now this is great for learning how to paint either tulips or roses, because they have plenty of leaves. And I've done some tutorials, actually. You can have a look where I'm talking about this technique as well. So very pretty. And let's see, what else do we have? Some animals as well. Great patterns. This is very pretty as well. The blooming of the watercolor. Here are some compositions. White landscape, desert. So this is great to learn how to paint landscape illustrations. So it's nice and balanced. I really like the colors in here. It's the greens, pinks and the kind of grayish tones. And this is super beautiful. I love this one. So this is the day 27 and final desert piece part 1. So this is very pretty. Look at that. Beautiful composition. So she paints things that are very layered. There are multiple layered arrangement here, and so it's quite pretty. Oh, here is the finished. So there's a part 2. So she takes you step by step, and she takes you right to the end, the final layer, and she talks what you need to do for the final layer to bring everything together and kind of just lift everything off the page, because if you start, it looks a little bit flat, and then layer after layer you can see coming to this, it just all is lifted and balanced. And there's a beautiful parrot illustration in that same manner. So I actually prefer it at this stage before these sort of marks, but that's my personal thing. For me, too much is going on here, so you can pick at which stage you want to stop, because it looks equally beautiful. Here you can actually see the blooming of the watercolor better. So very, very beautiful book. So happy I have added it to my watercolor book collection, and I think I might take it with me on the vacation. And I'm just thinking that probably when you are going to watch this video, I will be having a break. And yeah, so that is super fun, very encouraging, and just you know, you can treat it any way you want. You can start right from the beginning and give yourself a structured kind of timetable that you want to achieve this in 30 days, and you do it every day by day and see how you progress. Or you could just sort of randomly open it on any page and give yourself that particular exercise of that particular day. So any level I think would be great. Love it. It's very, very inspiring. So, and that is it for today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much. See you soon.